Hi, my name's Jill, and this is Yuma's Best and Worst. This is a combination of things that I think about Yuma and my mommy thinks about Yuma. I'm only 7 years old, so I don't know a lot about Yuma, but I know people out there do. We're going to take some calls and they're going to tell us, okay? Here's the first call. You know what I think is the worst? All those people that come in during the cooler months. Tell them to get back to their cold. They need their snow. We don't need them to take our cool weather. We need all the cool weather we can get. With their cars that don't drive properly because they can't drive properly. Who do they think they are? Can't believe them. Anyway, tell them to go away and let the locals play. Well, my mommy said it's complicated because, well, yeah, they might be annoying and stupid and, well, all those things, whatever people say about them, but they help the community, I guess. I don't know. I don't pay attention to politics. So anyway, let's talk about what else is cool about Yuma. Yeah, is this thing on? So I've got two bests and I guess just two worse. So number one, you should get your books at Sunny's. They're downtown and they're really cool. And if you like honey, you should get some Nikki's honey. It's at Nikki's Chickies over off of 4th Avenue and over by the Heritage Library, where they're not always open. But you can also get it at other places like North End Coffee and the coffee shop down in the Foothills, whose name I've forgotten, but it's not Cafecito. And there's one other place. Oh, the place that makes the sourdough bread. So you should get the honey from there. Now then, as for the two worst, well, the first one isn't a worst, but people need to stop thinking of the dunes and the whatchamacallit, the date farm, all those things is just Yuma. There's so many cool things in Yuma, especially if you go past Avenue B. Really cool Yuma. Okay, that's all I got. Oh, one more. Lutz Casino is crap. I don't know why people go there. It's crap. Not even cool decorations on the walls. They're all like being destroyed. So it's crap. Okay, that's all. Bye. They make the best honey, and well, I got some really cool books over at Sunny's. I like reading Arthur Rimbaud and some of that other fiction stuff as well. And I got all my books from there. I got my copy of Margaret Atwood's The Testament from there. But I'm a little advanced my age, obviously. Well, let's take another call, okay? Yeah, I want to tell those people out there that are listening. A lot of the locals already know this. But there's no good Yuma over off 16th Street. None of them. I don't think there's any Mexican either. I mean, Cretan's okay, but that's kind of white people sit down Mexican. You don't want to go there. You want to go to the Del Sol counter on 16th and 4th Avenue, also one in Foothills. Or you want to go to all the trucks down past Avenue B. And El Charro's pretty good. Mi Ranchos is pretty good. There used to be the really good truck over by the dispensary on 32nd, but I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, oh, the dispensary's good too. You should check that out. A lot of people do. You know what you're looking for there. Anyway, so that's all I'm going to say. Check out Mexican food, but not on 16th Street. Yeah, Mommy says Mr. G's is really good, but it's not really Mexican food. Not in the same way. There's no mole in those places, and we love mole. Birria is pretty good too. I think we should get birria and mole. Anyway, I'm going to take a commercial break because I'm thirsty. I need some water. So I'll talk to you in a bit. Okay, bye. The Yuma metropolitan area. It's not just Yuma. That's today at 4:30 on channel 682. It's Fat Albert, and I want to tell you about Eddie's Grill. You over there in the curve? You did some shopping over there at Goodwill. You went over to Albertsons for groceries, and you went over to the Humane Society thrift shop, see if you can find that extra pan. Well, now you're kind of hungry, aren't you? Now, you didn't get any frozen goods, right? Because that's a little different. But if you've got some extra time and it's not cold groceries, check out Eddie's Grill. They got burgers and fries and breakfast and just smiling faces. Bunch of smiling faces. So go over there, you get some good food, get some good meals over there at Eddie's Grill. Hi. We're back. And well, we're talking about Yuma's best and worst. So let's talk about that, Cabe. Yeah. I got a little comment about the weather and the traffic. You know, it's really nice weather between like September and August, or April rather. Sorry, I think the cough syrup's kicking in. Anyway, good weather between September and April, but then it's miserable. It's hot. Your air conditioner needs an air conditioner. That's how hot it is. But the nice thing about the city is that there's no traffic. The traffic is really nice between April and September. There's no one around. It's just us locals. But the traffic is miserable. Miserable between September and April. Now, I know that some of our locals don't know how to drive. I know they don't know how to drive in those months. But I think they cloned themselves so there can be more bad drivers on the road. Just a bunch of bad drivers, though. Okay, I think I got the point across, so that's all. My mommy thinks you're a buffoon. But I don't know why. She didn't tell me why. We're going to take another call. So, yeah, if you're coming in to visit, congratulations. Thanks for joining us. Now, I know a lot of humans are saying, we've got all the buildings we need, all the things. But I think you beg to differ. We've got a Sprouts, but what about a Whole Foods? Ties into your Amazon account. That'd be wonderful. You know, what about a steakhouse? You need a really good steakhouse. And I don't mean Texas Roadhouse. That's not a steakhouse. That's a roller coaster. So, I think Trader Joe's should be here. Yeah, I said it. Trader Joe in a Costco. Yeah, we need a Costco. What? You say we got a Sam's Club. Well, whatever. You know, you go over to your Sam's Club then. Anyway, that's all. Talk to y'all later. I don't know anything about any of those things. Thanks for calling. I'm gonna do one more call, and then we can get out of here. Okay? Hi there, everybody. My name's Bill. I'm the last caller. Well, I don't know what's going on with the city. I know we built this city on rock and roll. That's what we did. We took this rock and roll, all the rock and roll. The Jimi Hendrix and the Hollies and the Rolling Stones and White Snake and Iron Maiden and Simon and Garfunkel, all of them. And we built this city out of that. So like I said, we built this city with rock and roll. But that's not what this call is about. You want to know where to go for lunch. Well, there's a lot of good places for lunch. Have you tried the pho place over off of 16th? Yuma Pho? That's really good. You need to meet someone for coffee, maybe a first date. You know who you are. You should try Cafecito downtown. If you want a sandwich as well, you should go across the street to the little sandwich shop next to Lutz. I don't really like Lutz, by the way. It's okay. I guess they do what they do. Trying to see what else is downtown. You got Red's Birdcage if you imbibe in that alcohol. Go across the street, you can go to the Yuma Art Center, see some paintings. Maybe go see a show. I heard they had the Beach Boys and the Beatles, whatchamacallit, tribute band over there. Sounds like it's a good idea. You go down a little further, you can hit the Sunnies and the Apothecary. And there's some other businesses in there. Lots of stuff. You got the escape room if you dig that sort of thing. You keep going to the next block. There's an antique shop. There's a tattoo and a piercing parlor. You got a couple of restaurants with Italian, and you got Prison Hill. It does its own beer. There's a lot of cool things downtown. But I heard a caller talk about 16th Street, and you know, I mean, not 16th, I mean Avenue B. And I'm not as familiar with that as other people, but yeah, there's a lot of good things down there. You might need to polish up on your Spanish a little. You go to the Del Sol, 4th Avenue and 16th, you're going to have to kind of do a little restaurant Spanish or point and click. You don't click in real life, by the way. Just kind of point, say frijoles and carne asada burrito, and you know, if they know a little English, you know a little Spanish, you can make it through. So, anyway, those are some of my favorite things. Filiberto's, if you like, the kind of more of a takeout. You can get takeout over Del Sol, but you know, Filiberto's got a drive-through, and it's a standard in Arizona and California. There's a lot of good places in the foothills like LaDonna and Wheezy's. And, you know, if you're a resident, the library system is amazing. So, anyway, those are a few of my favorite things. I don't have anything bad to say today. Maybe the heat. You know, it's kind of hot out. But you kind of get used to that. I had a friend of mine from like North Dakota called me lizard scum. You know, I think that's a badge of honor. A badge of honor, sir or ma'am. I don't know. I never actually heard their voice, or, you know, they gave me the name Pat, and well, that can go either way, as you know. Anyway, we're going to end this call and let Jill know she's doing a great job. I'm glad her mother trusts her. But anyway, I'll talk to you later. Bye. Wow. He's so cool. I like Bill. I like his show when he does his show. He usually talks about politicians and, you know, how he's going to overthrow the government or something. I don't know. I'm just 7 years old. But that was much cooler. So anyway, I think I'm going to go take off and get some more water and maybe have some snacks and watch some cartoons. So, okay, bye.